वर्ल्ड टीवी, सब पे नजर, अंदर की खबर.
Down curfews, sieges happening with the Kashmiri people. And we are seeing right now what happened in Al Ahli hospital and an attack on a UN school over there. And I was just wondering because I have taken charge for a short term because it's interim and it is not linked with any political party as such, but it was mainly because of what's happening in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and to launch a campaign to save the Kashmiri political prisoners, especially my husband, because he's going through a death sentence. Raw case is happening there, and they are a voiceless nation right now. So this was an opportunity through this platform of human rights that I could have more access to international organizations and advocate the case of my people. So I know what it's like, these long curfews, sieges, what divided families, displaced people are constantly living in a war-like situation and being helpless and just coming up with ceremonial lip service from the world that, or from the UN organizations or world bodies that, this is wrong, this should not happen, but actually taking it or putting such aggressors like Israel and India under the radar, as the previous respectable speakers said, under the radar of international obligations. They should be sanctioned, defense and economic sanctions should be imposed on them. So I was thinking, because I think all of them have shared quite a lot, and I was visiting the Palestinian ambassador the other day and we had a long conversation there, and what Mr. Hamid Mir mentioned, he shared all that with me in detail, the connection of the former Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, Sheikh Amin Hussain Sahab, who was a staunch critique of what India or the occupiers were doing with the Kashmiris, and he showed me those old historical pictures of Allama Iqbal and the Kashmir connection and the love and the bond pre-partition that they shared, and the calling for the Masjid al-Aqsa for any Muslim and that spiritual connection that we share. So I when I was there, I was like, what do you actually need? Just tell me honestly. He's like, unlike the Kashmiris, we don't need that much of aid. We are a rich country and we do have a lot of stuff with us, but we were never prepared for this kind of thing to happen. This is something totally unexpected. But what we need right now is a change in the global opinion, because we are going all out. Our people are ready to give the ultimate sacrifices, our entire nation, but we need a change in global opinion. If Pakistan is saying it, the Arab world is saying, condemnations are happening, but practical steps are not taking place. So the only way is when the global public unites and stands against this. What's happening in Middle East, what's happening in South Asia, Kashmir, Palestine, these are issues which are not going to die down now. This is my own, I'm not talking about the government. I hope every government prays and international stakeholders, human rights organizations play a valid role and justify their mandate of human rights, that they try to move towards ceasefire, towards establishing an economic humanitarian corridor, which is still not there. People are trapped inside. Nobody can go there. Nobody can get out. And some of the victims are there in Egypt. And sometimes the president of Palestine, he goes to Jordan to meet international dignitaries or meetings, but he's gone back after this hospital attack. And as he mentioned, Mr. Hamid Mir, very important point, and I'm already, because for me it's not about representing a government. I'm here mainly for the most oppressed people in the world, where the worst form of human rights violations are happening are the people of Kashmir, and now what's happening in Palestine. So this is my main focus. So which globally unites all the Muslim public. I'm not talking about, sorry to say, the world leaders right now, because if we had world leaders who believed in morality, on principles of equality, we would never have witnessed what happened in Kashmir or what is happening in Palestine, and these are the oldest pending conflicts. So I thought that now let's just do something different. Let's transcend beyond caste, color, creed, ethnicity, and let's join hands and start meeting global religious heads. And I shared it with the Palestinian also, that why not because every religion in the world preaches humanity, preaches brotherhood, and no religion talks about extremism. Zionism, Hindutva, fascism, all these things are which are destroying the earth. And then General Lodi, how he mentioned the kind of weapons that they have and how Hamas is responding. It is a resistance force. I mean, for over 76, 78 years, they are just, silent, peacefully. They just had pebbles in their hands. And they were facing all kinds of atrocities. And these Jewish settlements are the West Banks, the Zionist settlements, I would call them, to be more exact with my perception of the situation. So I think how one of the respectable speakers talked about the Zionism. I think it's very important that the youth should be doing research on ways of conflict resolution and peace building. And where are the lapses, and are we always going to depend on only just the dynamics of political governments, or just on human rights organizations and just a few reports coming forward and not being challenged under international law or universal jurisdictions, like establishing commission of inquiry? Dr. Waleed you're lucky to have such a dynamic professor. He has not just suffered in Kashmir, he has been in third-degree torture cells over there, and he's also an intellectual. When you have suffered and then you are doing your intellectualism, I think that brings the pain also, it emboldens it and it brings it forward with a lot of passion and finesse, and how the aggressors play with us, be it the Indians and be it the Israelis. So this nexus became stronger. You can't blame that what Israel did right now. Did the world stand up for the Kashmiris 5th of August? Sadly, nobody did. But karma, or the law of nature, responded with corona, and the whole world was trapped up in their homes. When we were locked up in our homes, when our families were divided, jailed, being slaughtered, starving to death, no communications clamped down, there was a call of nature that came, that responded to it. But unfortunately, the tragedy is the criminal silence of political world leaders. We have become slaves to geopolitics, geoeconomics, and we forget that geopolitics and geoeconomics is directly linked to global peace and geo-peace and geo-interfaith. And that is one of the reasons I'm going abroad also. I'm going to be having meetings very soon with some of the religious heads, be it from the Jewish religion, the Christians, Muslims, Sikhs, and yes, just before this, like now globally, especially the Muslims, we are seeing that the kind of uproar, especially in Jordan and in Turkey, how they were attacking the embassy of Israel, they had to cancel it. The Jordan's king, the meeting with Joe Biden and the president of Palestine also avoided it, because it was the global power of the public coming out, thronging on the roads. And unless and until we don't just become digits, we come out practically, phone is nothing. This is all one-sided. Now the opinions that are coming, sorry to say, about Palestine, most of them are being raised because the media is supporting Israel. So what we need is, we need to go back to, the past, the way it was, public mobilization. Public should come out, public is coming out, public is enraged, and that is also one of the reasons why the Saudis were coming very close to a pact with Israel, and they can't because of the global dynamics. So Israel has been exposed in the global public, especially in the Muslim Ummah, the masses. I'm not talking about the leaders right now. Whatever they say, they condemn it, but practical measures we've hardly seen. Otherwise, we would not be where we are here, where my husband is languishing in a death cell, one-sided, everything is being decided against him. What's happening with the Palestinians? We lost Kilani Sahab. They've raised all our leadership. The Palestinians and the Kashmiris were the most peaceful resistance movements in the world, but at the same time, they are the most dangerous zones for engulfing not just those regions but the entire world. So we need to study the nuclear, the phosphorus shells are used in Kashmir. There were many pictures that were floated where bodies were mutilated with chemical weapons. Same white phosphorus is being used in Palestine. There are so many similarities. So now the problem is that we are ready to face them. We are directly combating the biggest aggressors. But the problem is the global public. That needs to be engaged. And secondly, religious heads. They need to finally come under the platform of interfaith harmony to resolve these oldest pending conflicts in the world. So we need to extend our ideas, expand them, and we have researchers like Dr. Yasmin, you've done on yes, you've done on gender policy national. We're working with you on with Ms. Amina. She was discussing that with me. So we need scholars, we need intellectuals to brainstorm of, because world order is redefined now. Don't think that this is going to simmer down in a few days or few weeks. This is going to affect the entire globe. So we need to move with it with some new ideas. And I think on the basis of faith, we have World Muslim League, we have Dr. Alisa. I discussed it with him last year as well, that it is my passion that we want to resolve Kashmir issue. Let's do it through interfaith harmony. We have people of various faiths around the world. Let's join hands, because these are crusades of sophisticated times of extremism. And this is the new religion in the world which is ruling the world. And Masjid al-Aqsa, the right of the Muslim, the right of the Palestinians. I mean, we are eroding our entire, and if God forbid it escalates more, don't think anybody in the Western world, Middle East, anywhere, South Asia, Arab world, anywhere, people are safe. So we need to really, really work hard on immediate measures. Is that we demand a humanitarian corridor. I mean, I'm willing to go there to Egypt also for the supplies. I've spoken to the foreign ministry as well. And also to Jordan to meet the government officials of Palestine. I've discussed it with the Palestinian ambassador as well, and he was just telling me that the last time political head visited was, I think, General Ayub Khan. He met his counterpart over there many decades ago. So he said this is going to be a very strong message if the Kashmiris and the Pakistanis, they come forward all the way to Egypt or to Jordan right now and express strong solidarity, because this is the moment. This is the moment where we have to raise their morale. They're very brave, and every Palestinian, I'm in touch with a lot of Palestinian families from the past, because we share a lot of common problems. And one of the ladies there who's also fighting for her husband's release for the past 20 years, she's campaigning around the world for his release. And you learn, because when you're on common ground, you're people of conflict, you have unresolved agendas, you have humanitarian tragedies, your identity is being snatched. So you get kind of this exceptional courage and this will that the Palestinians right now have, and they're like, life is nothing. It is the least we can do to express our point of view that we are against occupation. So in the end, I'm once again grateful to all of you, and remarkable speeches and points discussed, especially about the historical connection between Palestine and Kashmir. And I think where we lack is, unique and innovative ideas, short-term goals and long-term goals for settlement of the Palestinian issue according to the will of the Palestinians. It's their land. And if we do not do anything in the short term, this is also my strong hunch, that if we will not do any aggressive measures to stop this bloodbath and this ceasefire, I think this will be the new norm in the world. Committing genocide and war crimes will become the most legitimate law in the world, and every other law which falls under humanitarian laws or international laws will become jungle law, which will be illegal, and this will be the new law. That you can do anything and then what is scary is that nobody is taking charge of the situation. Nobody globally. From a unipolar world, we are moving towards a multipolar world. So I think maybe on the basis of faith, we could join people together to sit on the table and to have some sanity, that if this escalates, it's not like it's going to stop, and it is going to be savage, the response that is going to come from both the sides. And I think, and the global public at large, and the visuals of yesterday, the hospital, the message to the Christians, to the Muslims, and the way people are protesting around the embassies of Israel. I think Israel never thought that it would get this kind of reaction from global public, but it is getting it, and I think it's going to magnify even more with your campaigns, because this is the time when you have to decide, will you stand with the aggressor or those who are being eliminated or being marginalized. So stand with the most marginalized communities in the world, I think, which are the Kashmiris and the Palestinians. And it was only, I think, the only way forward is the power of the public and awareness campaigns. Thank you very much.
वर्ल्ड टीवी, सब पे नजर, अंदर की खबर.